Hi, Andrew. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I am doing all right. Good to see you again. Uh, so you signed today's GCU mock uh, informed consent to record, correct?
Yep, when I sent it in.
Perfect, perfect. Do you have any questions about that at all before we delve into other things?
No.
Okay, perfect. Well, today I do actually need to go over some limits of confidentiality, which I'm sure you're aware mostly of, but I'll just kind of briefly touch on those real fast. So obviously, it's completely my intention to keep everything that you tell me private, but there are a couple of exceptions to that rule. One is if I get a judge-issued court order or if you specifically sign something that says that if that's okay. I may also share with my supervisor. Her name is Carol Wilson. You could reach her if you needed to at carol.wilson@my.gcu.edu or at 918-541-6210. But I may share something with her as well. Uh, Also, I would be forced to report anything you tell me if it has to do with the abuse of an elderly person or an incapacitated person or something along those lines. Does that all make sense to you?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Well, again, if you have any questions or concerns about any of those things, I'm happy to help you. Well, I know last session you were talking about, working at Kohl's and how you were feeling that, at 30 that life wasn't quite going the way that you expected. Is that what you would like to talk about today, or is there something else on your mind?
No, there's something else that's been going
Okay.
on that I'll talk about.
Well, I would love to talk about that if you want to share.
Yeah, it just that I got some bad news about my cousin. She
Mhm.
has we don't really know what it is, but she's like been in the hospital now for 2 weeks.
I'm sorry.
And she she's been out and they did a biopsy on some mass that was forming on top of her, I think, lungs or something, or no, her liver.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's just been really depressing because like she has two young kids. And um, I kind of was just, it just like made me think a lot about my own parents and like how they're, getting older. And it
Yeah.
just like stresses me out, just like thinking about them getting sick or, being in that situation or possibly passing away from like health related issues because both of them have some kind of health
Mhm.
issue.
Yeah.
And so it's just been like making me think a lot about that, and the state of my family right now is just really like my siblings are all kind of not talking with each other or fighting with each other. And so it
Yeah.
just stresses me out that we're like wasting all this time. And like my cousin is, you know, in her early 40s. And
Yeah.
so she doesn't really, I don't know. It's just like my parents are definitely older than her. And it just makes me like think a lot about all the times that we're wasting. It's like
Yeah.
all of our little conflicts and stuff.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm so sorry to hear about your cousin and the biopsy on her liver. That's got to be really tough. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, we're still waiting to hear back on what it is, but she's still been out of commission for so long. For
Yeah,
now, it's like over 2 weeks. Yesterday was exactly 2 weeks. So
that's fair. Well, I'm hoping for the best for her and for your family as well. You said you were worried about your parents as well. You said they had some health issues.
yeah, it's just that like I mean, my parents both have diabetes and um both have heart conditions.
Hmm.
And my dad has low blood pressure. A lot of times it's like hard for him to regulate blood
Yeah,
pressure. And I don't know, like every time they need to go to the hospital, just like I don't know, it just freaks me out. And like hearing about her and how
yeah,
young she is and
that's fair.
just stresses me out a lot.
Yeah. Well, how stressed out would you say you are about that? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
You know, it's weird because I kind of like comes and goes whenever I
Oscillate.
think about it. Yeah, so like with like when my cousin first was admitted to the hospital, I was like really worried. Like I just like felt anxious about it.
Right. Yeah.
And then yeah, for some reason yesterday was pretty bad. Like I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And then I would say that it's like yesterday I was like really, really kind of like freaked out about it, but then today I'm not as bad, but I'm kind of just I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I'm upset at my siblings for not like kind of coming together and like letting this be like kind of like a wake up call for our own family.
Yeah.
And I think that that's what gives me, I don't know, I don't know if it's anxiety or what it is, but it just upsets me.
So you're upset that they're not taking it more seriously.
Yeah, like, or at least trying to make amends with each other for the
Right.
sake of our family and like our parents and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Because then I was like, even thinking like, what if something happens to, to me or
What
one
are
of
we
my
gonna do?
siblings, and it's like, then it
Mhm.
is just going to be such an awkward reunion. You know what I mean? Like if they
That
all
makes
just
sense.
come out because somebody is sick or dying or whatever, it's just gonna be we're gonna have to be dealing with grieving and this drama because there's a bunch of unresolved issues from my family.
Yeah. Well, I admire that you're taking that hard experience and you're channeling it into something that, renewing those bonds with your family and uh, looking at it from a very healthy, zoomed out perspective. Uh, I hope absolutely that they do wind up taking it more seriously. Do you feel that maybe there's something you could do to help move them along in that way, or is it just kind of too tough with the current
I think
situation?
that I've tried all that I can, and I think like right now I just need to learn how to accept it that they're not going to be around or they're going to be choosing this kind of life to live.
Yeah.
Just because I've tried so many times to reach out to them, and then my sister blocked me on like the
Mm.
phone, so I can't really reach out to her anymore.
Yeah, that's hard.
So I don't know. I'm kind of just wanting to. I don't know what I could do besides just kind of cope with it myself.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Just letting you know, we have maybe about a minute left before we have to sign off. I'm sorry about the briefness of these sessions here, but we're definitely gonna mention that a little
No,
bit.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for that. But I absolutely get what you're feeling, and yeah, that seems like a really tough situation, especially, kind of wanting to reach out to your sister and having her block you. That's no fun. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, nothing I can really do about that.
That's fair. Well, you did mention acceptance. I think that is a wonderful goal. Getting to that point where you feel that you can look at that situation with complete acceptance. Uh, I think you're doing a great job actually of kind of pinpointing what you need and working toward it. So, um,
Thank you.
you're very welcome. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about before we wrap things up today?
No, I think that I'm just gonna try to learn how to live with, I don't know, coping with all that, like with anxiety and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think some good homework would be to just think about that acceptance and, what you would do if certain things happen, what you would do if, God forbid, one of your parents did get sick or something along those lines. Not to dwell in a negative way, but just to kind of, feel that, if it happens that you would be able to deal with it, that you could manage those issues, and kind of thinking about what could happen and viewing it in a kind of positive, zoomed out, that your life would still be all right, that you would be able to keep going I think that'd be a good thought process there. All right. Well,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Andrew. Would you like to schedule another one for a couple weeks from now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We can just do in the next 2 weeks, same time.
Okay, perfect. Well, that sounds great. Thank you so much for meeting with me today, and I hope that everything is all right with your cousin. Please let me know what happens there and what the biopsy says.
I, I will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.